The Business is sponsored by Kingston Smith Chartered Accountants.
Hello, I'm Trevor Merriden. Welcome to The Business, the show that's essential listening for the West Herts business community. Tonight, attending events from a short seminar to a 4-week event can give your business a real boost. We'll be looking at a number of events coming up on the Hertfordshire calendar that will do just that. We'll be discussing how to use events to accelerate the development of your business with our studio guest Debbie Gilbert, an award-winning event and networking expert. And we'll be flagging up a number of events and festivals that you may not yet be aware of. Also, here to help are my fellow presenters, Vicky Scott and Clare McAnulty. So, how's your week been?
Yes, as usual, very busy at this time of year.
And Vicky, all well with you?
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Yeah, always too busy at the moment. But, there's so many things going on. It's just part of the day, I guess.
Right. Okay. And so let's go through our usual sort of thing with stories. And Claire, have you got a story this week?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to take the theme for tonight as my cue. We've the annual Hearts Business Expo coming up on Monday, the 22nd of June, as well as having exhibitors, the opportunity for picking up business and networking. There are a number of seminars going on, and I thought I would flag up one that dovetails nicely with our recent topic of running an e-commerce business. It's on at 10:30 in the morning in the seminar room, and you can book on the day. It's called How Not to Be an Island on the Internet. It's presented by V Smith, and she'll take you through how to get the right people to visit your website, buy from you, and keep coming back. Now, I suspect this is a seminar that every business with a website can benefit from, so you possibly also pick up some hints and tips from the other Hertfordshire businesses there. Definitely one, I think, to note in your diary.
Yeah, I think being an island on the internet, it's probably a bit too common. So many people have their own little islands, and it's a sort of build it and they will come sort of approach.
True. Just put the website up, and by some miracle, everybody will be buying stuff off it.
Too many. Yeah, the internet's got too many sort of archipelagos on it, I think, of novelties. Vicky, what have you got?
Well, mine's quite a different sort of story, and it was just sort of brought to light in the papers at the weekend because House of Fraser is about to open 50 stores in China, and we talk quite a lot about John Lewis and House of Fraser and a couple of these other stores that seem to really get it right year after year, and I was delighted to read about the fact that House of Fraser's chief executive actually started off at the grand old age of 18 in working in Marks and Spencer's on the children's hosiery counter in Warrington.
Okay.
And what he basically said was, he was tidying children's socks all day and night, occasionally going to the till if they allowed him to. And he was basically sort of saying that he was working all the time, even though there wasn't an awful lot to do. And when his boss came along, he just sort of filled the air with all sorts of data and numbers and how many red socks have been sold and all of this sort of jazz. And he gradually worked his way up to the ranks, and now he's a god. And I just thought it was a great story, because we hear so often about the kids of today wanting to have it all so very, very quickly, and actually what you have to do is you have to start at the bottom, you have to learn the trade, and you have to work on through it. And it's really good when you hear that those people at the top have gone through that route.
And although so many things have changed, including all the sort of media that people use and so on, there are certain sort of principles that are very much the same, which are essentially sort of hard graft, really, and sort of learning your trend. Well, I'm going to hope this won't be a bit of a rant, but I'm sort of here to defend middle managers this week, because I'm sick of seeing all these kind of things that politicians say about we're going to cut out bureaucracy and useless middle managers, and it's just a bit of a thing for me. I mean, so I saw an excellent article on the subject in the magazine HR Zone this week. So let's face it, middle managers have a very terrible reputation. They've got the sort of the petty bureaucrats, costly overheads, and they block innovation and change, the permafrost of middle management. But actually, there's not huge evidence to support this stereotype. There aren't a lot of studies that really go into that, and recent studies actually show a quite different picture, that strategic middle managers have increasingly varied responsibilities. Yes, they work long hours and play key roles in operational and sort of HR areas, and also across the board, but actually they're often the ideas people that actually they're developing creative improvements below the radar, which maybe they won't get credit for, and helping to actually put good ideas into action. So I just want to blow a little trumpet for middle managers who are, and yes, they do block change sometimes, but the article said, but yes, they block change when they know something's a really bad idea, that there's some sort of idiot of a boss who's actually trying to put things through. So, which just simply aren't going to work or need to be worked around in a different way. So I know it's an exaggeration, and I don't think, and I'm sure there are bad middle managers and good middle managers, but really, I just wanted to say a little something, that this lazy stereotype that we have sometimes of people in the middle, for me, it's like a sort of a nice cream bun. The best bit is in the middle, as far as I'm concerned.
So, the bottom line is, if they weren't required, they wouldn't be on the payroll.
Exactly.
No one, particularly, with the recession and everything we've had, no one employs someone just for the sake of it. They are all doing something.
Yeah.
I think the other thing to say, though, is that quite a lot of middle management are promoted without having been given the right tools, equipment, and training into a position just because they were good at what they used to do, not necessarily because they're going to be good at what they're being asked to do. And so, actually, the quality of middle management is determined by the more senior management, and that whole sort of ethos of training them and helping them get into a position before they're it, so they don't suddenly become sort of small Hitlers trying to organise an army when they haven't actually got the skills, equipment, or knowledge to do that. I think it's really, really important, and it is. We know that when times are tough, that's one of the first things to go. All the training and all of that, and that whole succession planning that should already be in place, so that you're already gearing up to make sure that you've got the right people developing into the right position.
You're absolutely right. As always, as we've said many times on this show, it all comes back to leadership and also the pipeline of leadership. And if you don't have that, then you'll get the middle managers you deserve ultimately. So, are we ready to go for? Should we go for a break? I think we'll be back after this this short break to look at how upcoming events are, what sort of upcoming events we've got, and how they can help you develop you and your business.
The Business, sponsored by Kingston Smith Chartered Accountants.
Radio Verulam Community Partners. St Albans Symphony Orchestra has been giving concerts for over 75 years, delivering top quality live music in an affordable and an accessible way. They play the greatest classical works as well as popular light music with all the excitement of a full-scale symphony orchestra. They also subsidise every child's ticket. It costs only £1 for a child to attend any of the concerts. To learn more, visit their website saso.org.uk. For more on Radio Verulam Community Partners, go to radioverulam.com/community partners.
Hi, this is Danny Smith, joining weekdays from 4 till 7 for West Herts Drive Time, the stylish way to get home in West Herts, with features including Chris's Film Club, celebrity birthdays, hot topics, entertainment news, a business roundup, sports reports, local news, regular features looking at topics such as consumer advice, lifestyle, travel, interior design and baking, plus travel and traffic updates every 20 minutes, all wrapped up in some great music. That's West Herts Drive Time, sponsored by Rain & Co Estate Agents, weekdays from 4 till 7 p.m. here on 92.6 FM, Radio Verulam.
If you want to get in touch with the business on Radio Verulam, phone us on 01727 839 926 or email thebusiness@radioverulam.com.
Welcome back to The Business. I'm Trevor Merriden here with fellow presenters Vicky Scott and Clare McAnulty, and tonight, as we said, we're discussing and introducing upcoming events that can help develop both you and your business. And we need a little expert help, so I'm going to hand over to Clare now to introduce our very special studio guest.
Well, the studio guest tonight is Debbie Gilbert. For the past 7 years, Debbie has been operating 2 networking companies offering lunchtime events through Viva Business Networking and morning events for mumpreneurs through Mums Unlimited. She also heads up Viva Business Support, a training and development company. The company offers open training courses and on-site training in social media and marketing. Her most recent enterprise, Mums Unlimited, won the Best Networking Company in the East of England Business Awards in November of last year. So welcome, Debbie. Nice to see you. So I've mentioned a little bit there about your background, but I know you've been an entrepreneur for much longer than 7 years. So what made you decide to focus on your training courses and your networking? How did you come to that?
Basically, there was a need. When we started the networking events 7 or 8 years ago, there was very little around during the day. It was mostly breakfast meetings. And the mumpreneur networking, which we started 4.5 years ago, came about because a lot of mums who have now got businesses, and it's one of the biggest growth sectors in small businesses, couldn't do breakfast meetings, couldn't do lunches, and can't do evenings. So we set it up. We've now got 9 groups. They run from 9:30 to 11:30, which is ideal for somebody who has got a child at nursery or is at school, and we don't run meetings in school holidays. And it's literally blossomed from there.
Now, do you have to be a mum to join?
In fact,
can you be an honorary?
You can be a dad. You can be anybody. Originally, when I started it, Claire, I actually didn't expect it to take off the way it has, and I think it's worked because Mums Unlimited, it's very targeted, the name and how we market it, but we have dads that come along, we have non-mums that come along. You know, we don't turn anybody away, but our marketing is quite focused on mumpreneurs, and what we do is focus for mumpreneurs, but everybody's welcome to the party.
Now, obviously you did very well because you won the award. Why do you think you won the award? Because you were very niche and you were very focused?
We won a second award last Thursday. We won the Hertfordshire FSB networking, best networking group as well. So getting the East of England one for me last year was amazing because we were up against very tough competition, and I think, well, it was mentioned at the award ceremony, the reason that they awarded it to us was because of our innovative approach to networking, what we were offering, because we don't charge a membership, and how the support that we offer the people that come to our groups leading on to the training, because the training developed from a need. Again, there wasn't anybody at the time doing training in things like LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter, and you know, I got a lot of phone calls saying, how do you do this, Debbie? How do you do that, Debbie? And in the end, wrote the courses, and I work with a number of affiliate trainers now as well. So that's how the business developed, because there was a need for it.
So obviously we're focusing tonight on events, but events nowadays do include a lot of networking, so that's one of the reasons that we've brought you in. Now tell me a little bit about some of the training courses you do, the types of, you've just said it's sort of social media, but what sort of lengths of courses, the cost of them?
They're normally some of the courses are a morning, so 3 hours, and some of the ones like the social media strategy is a whole day. And we work in small groups of 6 people for that, because then we can all brainstorm ideas, we can actually talk to one another about our businesses, and I can hopefully, and I know we do, stimulate lots of ideas and discussion around that. But things like Twitter and Facebook are generally a morning course. We also run some special events. Normally once a year I'll do something a little bit different. So we did a thing a couple of years ago called Online Now, and we had 10 speakers from a variety of different topics to do with marketing your business online. I did another event called Summit to Success, which was all about, again, really good speakers talking about how they've become successful. So I think there's a huge amount of value in events generally for businesses to attend.
And tell me, from when you started organising the events to now, have you tailored your courses so they run a little bit differently? Are they still the same length? Have you found that certain things work better than others?
Yeah, I mean, they're all about the same length. We just have to make sure we keep up to date all the time, because what might be perhaps an app that you can use on Twitter today may not be there tomorrow. As something you can do on LinkedIn today may have changed tomorrow. So everything we do, we have to double check it and keep ourselves very up to date with the latest information.
And Debbie, is it, I mean, there's a sort of stereotype around that people's attention spans are getting sort of shorter. I mean, is that true of events as well? Are events getting shorter? Is that what the demand is telling you?
I think partly attention span, but also it's partly time. You know, businesses don't really want to be taking a whole day out on a regular basis, so courses that are about 2 to 3 hours work really, really well. Cost-wise, we charge sort of about £45 for a half day, and around about the £70 to £80 for the full day. So that's pretty
It's the sort
workable.
of price that businesses can and
affordable.
should be able to afford, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's also interesting that networking's really sort of grown up over the last 5 or 10 years, hasn't it? When certainly when I first came out of corporate life, it sort of felt as though it was in its infancy.
It was, yeah.
There was sort of like a bit of a rigorous way of going about it. It was, either you come at breakfast at the crack of dawn and, you bring your leads and you operate in a particular way, or there wasn't anything else.
I think it's evolved.
It's really evolved fantastically.
Yeah, definitely.
To suit the way the business has evolved, and to suit sort of micro businesses in particular, where people are juggling life and trying to almost make some extra money on the side in certain instances, or turn hobbies into businesses, and all of those types of things that particularly mums need to do. Because what they can't do is they can't just drop everything else.
No.
They've got to weave their business into the rest of their commitments.
They have, and I think there's a plethora of events out there. There is actually something for everybody, depending on the time of day you can get out. I mean, I run networking skills training as well, and I cover all the different sorts of networking that's available. And it's really interesting because there is a huge chunk of the business community who are running a business in the evenings outside of their main job. So for them, they want evening networking because they're trying to build the business before they leave their job.
Yeah, a very sensible thing to do, actually, isn't it?
Yeah. So there almost needs to be, there is networking that's from sort of 6:30 in the morning, and the latest one I'm involved in finishes at 9:30 at night. So, and we get people who come along to that particular evening event where they couldn't network at any other time because they're in their office employee 5:30, 6 o'clock in the evening.
It's also that flexibility, that not everybody can always make it every single week. Not everybody can afford to lay out a few £100 at the beginning of the year. That sort of flexibility that people need when they're starting businesses, because you also have to try a few different networking groups before you find the ones that really suit you. Because if you don't enjoy it, you won't be any good at it, and it won't work for you, because it's you have to put in a lot of time and a lot of effort and energy, and like the people that you're meeting for it to really work, don't you?
Totally agree.
And we're going to ask you for a few of your secrets, Debbie, because probably different now to even sort of 5-6 years ago. There's Eventbrite. There's a number of things that you can use to organise events. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the type of? Do you use Eventbrite, for example? Would you recommend that if somebody else from outside was trying to organise an event?
I would. I mean, obviously, I've got event software on my website because that's what I do. But I have actually got one event at the moment that's on Eventbrite. I do use that because it's a good tool, because they send stuff out to their database. And anyone could subscribe to receive their information, and anybody can set up an event on Eventbrite for anything. It's fantastic. You've also got Find Networking Events, which you can use to not only list networking events but workshops and seminars. There is a small fee to pay if you're going to do that, but it's not a huge amount. There's also a site called Meetup, so you can list events on there. And I would highly recommend Facebook with targeting advertising as well, Twitter, and LinkedIn, posting in LinkedIn groups about things that you're doing. And all of those mediums we use on a regular basis, and they're very successful for us.
So in fact the online world has helped you really with organising the networking and the courses.
I mean, I've grown all my businesses online.
Yeah.
Does it depend, though, on the type of event that you're organising? Because there might be some events that are more appropriate for LinkedIn. I mean, does it depend where the buyers are?
Yeah, I would agree. If you were organising a summer fair, let's say, for example, then you would promote that on Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah.
Eventbrite is great for anything business related, but I do know charities that use Eventbrite for their events, and very successfully. So LinkedIn more for business events.
I mean, I certainly, we a lot of people who run their own businesses also, when they go up into London, they've got 2 or 3 meetings, and I actually now got into the habit of, I'd look on Eventbrite and actually see if there's something else happening there. And I've ended up in some really sort of interesting things that I would have known about if I hadn't actually gone sort of searching.
I think particularly, as Debbie was saying, a lot of these now are maybe morning or afternoon courses, so you can afford to take a punt, can't you? You just think, well, it sounds interesting, it's only a morning, it's only an afternoon, doesn't matter.
Loads of stuff that goes on.
So what we're going to ask you to do, Debbie, is we've got a couple of clips, and these are events that are coming up, so they're a mixture of events. Some are very short, some you can go to before breakfast. one takes a full week, one takes a full day, and we're going to just, some of the things that come up on them, we're just going to ask you to comment.
Okay.
So the first clip is tonight. It's a day's course. It's coming up on Friday the 19th of June. It's called the Arts Marketing Symposium. And it's a free day as long as you book, and it's held at the University of Hertfordshire Business School. They're doing lots and lots of stuff there these days, which is excellent. And Clare went along and spoke earlier in the week to Dr. Peter Fraser, a senior lecturer in marketing at the Hertfordshire Business School, and she asked him to describe what's in store on the day.
This is an annual event called the Arts Marketing Symposium. It's held at the University of Hertfordshire Business School in de Havilland campus in the Law Court building. It lasts all day, though you don't have to stay all day. The idea is to offer anybody who wants to come and is interested in arts an opportunity to hear a little bit about academic research into arts marketing, to hear some practitioners talk about arts marketing, and towards the end of the day there are a couple of workshops. One is about making podcasts, and the alternative to that is to kickstart your blogging by Joanna McQueenie. Anybody who's running a small business or interested in the arts should be able to pick up one or two tips from most of the sessions throughout the day.
And tell me a little bit about marketing for the arts, Peter. Is it the case that a lot of people, we imagine a lot of maybe musicians, artists, are they generally good at marketing, or are they the worst people to market themselves? Do you think they're a group that do need quite a bit of assistance?
I think some are fantastically good at it and some are less good, and as always you find some people who work on their own, but they say things like, I hate selling myself. We have to learn to do it and do it well, and I think a day like this gives people a fantastic opportunity to come along and meet a wide range of people. This year, for the first time, the latter part of the day is going to be shared with the networking group Creative Hertfordshire, which has been running for a couple of years now. And that means that there'll be a wide range of people there, from photographers to designers and arts managers across the local community. So plenty of people to talk to and a wide range of things to find out about.
And is there opportunities for networking at the event? Because I would imagine, again, with small to medium-sized businesses, quite a lot of people working on their own, may be important to meet other people that are in possibly the same area as them, or even a different one, that can maybe pass on knowledge to each other.
Well, we've tried to timetable the normal number of breaks throughout the day. There are 2 or 3 spots for discussion, and then at the end it ends with the networking tea, so people should have plenty of opportunity to mix and to talk and to learn and to contribute, actually, because the participants are just as important as the main speakers.
And can you tell me how this event is connected with the University of Hertfordshire? Is it part of a certain department of the university, or what's the connection?
The event is funded, I'm glad to say, by the department I work in, the Marketing and Enterprise Department. And obviously, the University of Hertfordshire's got a reputation as being an entrepreneurial university, and this is just one of many, many ways in which the university is trying to make links with the local community and engage with local small business.
And I noticed that the event is free, which might mean that people might think, well, I'll decide on the day to come, but is it important that people book in advance, and how do they book in advance?
It is. If we want to try and plan it as well as we can. So basically, if you want to come along, please make sure you book using Eventbrite. We've got a website set up which will give you more information about the day and the hour-by-hour programme.
That was Dr. Peter Fraser. The event is the Arts Marketing Symposium, and the date is Friday the 19th of June, so quite soon. And to book your place, go to the university website, which is Herts, HERTS.ac.uk. Click on Business Services and then Attend an Event. The event will be listed. Just click on the listing and follow through to book your place. And like most university websites, it's absolutely vast. So if you don't know how to find the events, it's quite tricky. So that's why I've gone to the bother of mentioning how to do that. So Debbie, quite a lot of discussion. There's a lot of discussion and networking throughout this event. So if you sort of look at the day that's been held, and they've got quite a number of periods for discussion. Is this more and more common to do this, that you would have, because you've got all the business people there, that actually they're quite good at passing on information to each other? They've all got information they can share. I mean, is that something that you would do on your courses?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, not only have they got some top speakers here, when you look at the calibre of people who are speaking at this event and sharing this information, but obviously the people who are attending can learn from each other as well and exchange details on the day. So these sort of events are absolutely fantastic, and to actually be free, I mean, I was looking at it thinking, wow, that's an amazing event. Would have expected, if this was a chargeable event, you'd probably be looking at £200 to £300.
Yeah.
Looking at the calibre of speakers, you have lunch, you have a tea at the end, a networking tea. I mean, what an amazing day, and well worth taking that day out to learn from all of these experts. Fantastic.
I think another thing is maybe with people that work in the arts, and I'm about to make a big generalisation here, but they tend to be people that work in the arts. They are artistic by their nature and creative, and that doesn't always mean that they are very good at marketing, or they are very good at being organised about their marketing. So it's actually, I think it is a very useful day for people.
I agree, and I think it's been targeted particularly at that sector for a reason. And yes, I would agree that I've worked with lots of people within the arts, and fantastic at what they do, but sometimes maybe just lack the inspiration and information to market themselves properly, and this event will definitely give them a lot of information to go off and do that for themselves.
I think too that quite often it's tricky if you're the products, if you're the artist. It is quite difficult to promote yourself. It's a little bit like Dr. Peter Fraser said there, that it's quite tricky for people to promote themselves. I think this is another reason why this is a good day. He
said, the number one thing was, I hate selling myself, is what they said.
Yeah.
It's a certain reticence.
It's that unholy alliance of art and commerce.
Yes.
I mean, the other thing I noticed about this day is about a couple of people from opera companies, and which in itself is quite interesting. And what it sort of suggests to me is, an opera is a very expensive thing to put on. It's a bit like a ballet, I suppose. The people that run those types of companies are probably always looking for ways of raising money, so they're probably very good at it, and they probably have lots of different ways of doing it. So again, I thought that was quite good to have them along on the day.
Well, I think you've got a good expanse of different subjects that are being covered here, because not only for people who perhaps make things, so crafts, but also for people involved in drama and the performing arts, singing and theatrical performances as well.
Right, thank you for that, Debbie, and we'll be keeping you in the studio for the rest of the show to ask you lots of other stuff. We're going to go into a break now, though, and after break we're going to be hearing about a very exciting new business festival about to take place in St Albans, and also about a marketing course you can do while having your breakfast.
The Business, sponsored by Kingston Smith Chartered Accountants.
At Kingston Smith, our ethos is simple. We want our clients to succeed. Welcoming owner-managed businesses and individuals, we pride ourselves on offering the local business community a range of services that best supports their needs for maximum growth. Kingston Smith, helping our clients succeed. Find us on St Peter Street in the heart of St Albans, or for more information, head to kingstonsmith.co.uk.
Hi, it's Phil Richards here with your invitation to join me for Verulam in the Morning, weekdays on Radio Verulam, and with Richard Edwards on Tuesdays. Local interviews, travel on the half hour, national and local news, and great features. Keeping you company in the morning on Radio Verulam, it's Verulam in the Morning, 9 till 12.
Verulam in the Morning, in association with Stowe Family Law, the UK's largest specialist family law firm with offices in St Albans and central London.
If you want to get in touch with the business on Radio Verulam, phone us on 01727 839 926 or email thebusiness@radioverulam.com.
Welcome back. Tonight we're talking about forthcoming events and their benefits with our studio guest Debbie Gilbert. Just before the break I mentioned a new business festival in St Albans. The very first St Albans Business Festival is going to start on Monday the 22nd of June and run until Friday of that week, and it's going to take in certain established things like the Herts Business Expo and the Retail of the Year, but then there's a number of other different events taking place. I'm going to go in a minute to play a clip of an interview with Lisa Bates from the St Albans Chamber of Commerce. But before we start, Debbie, about the idea of a business festival generally, I mean, why do people sort of go around organising business festivals? It's a lot of work, isn't it? And but what are the sort of benefits they might bring?
Oh, huge. I mean, this is the first week-long business festival that I've seen, so I think it's a great idea. We have a stand at the Hertfordshire Business Expo on the Monday, which is at the Auburn Arena, but when you look at the programme of events that are going on, again, there's something for everybody that week. Lots of different things happening, and a great way to unite the business community for a week of the year, really. I think it's a fantastic idea.
Great. And okay, well, I caught up with Lisa Bates, who's the Executive Director of the St Albans Chamber of Commerce, and local entrepreneur and publisher Simon George, to find out how the St Albans Business Festival came about.
Well, we decided that as there were so many other festivals in St Albans, we ought to be perhaps doing one ourselves to provide numerous and diverse range of networking opportunities for the business community. And it gives us the opportunity to work with, lots of different partners during the week and delivering a sort of dynamic business week for the district.
And does it sort of, therefore, in your mind, sort of provide a sort of a focal point, sort of almost like a launch pad for the rest of business activities through the region?
Yeah, I mean, it's an opportunity for people to network together and build new business contacts and opportunities. So we hope that, we'll be able to do this every year, and that it's going to become a regular thing in the calendar, encouraging people to promote themselves.
I mean, perhaps you'd be able to take me through some of the activities during the week. There seems to be quite a variety of things, looking at the literature.
Yeah, let me do that. So the Monday, the 22nd of June, starts off with a CEO session, which Grant Thornton are running their fantastic new offices in St Albans. I think that's where they take a board of directors through a process and help them. The Hertfordshire Business Expo starts at 10 o'clock on the Monday at the Auburn Arena. So we've got about 60, 70 exhibitors there already signed up. A bit more space for some more, and we hope to get 500 people through the door on the day. And then the Monday ends up with Retailer of the Year Awards at Batchwood, which we came to run and obviously celebrate all the fantastic retailers we have in St Albans.
And that's just the Monday, crikey. So
yeah, exactly. We could be exhausted, I think.
Yeah, okay.
And then the Tuesday we have a jelly, which is a concept that started in America, where people that were working at home were missing kind of business contact and human interaction, so they began to meet up in a coffee shop or somewhere where people would just turn up and work with their laptops and share business ideas. And that concept's known as a jelly, so we thought we'd do one during the business week.
That sounds great. I see you've also got Phil Grimsey as well, who's the retailing guru.
That's on the Wednesday morning. We have a business breakfast, which is part of our regular programming that we do, and he's coming to speak about the high street and the future of the high street, and the importance of independent retailers and the possibility of St Albans going forward with the BID process, which is the Business Improvement District scheme. So yes, we're really pleased that he's coming, because he's quite an expert in retail, and I think that'll be a very popular event.
And also some lighter stuff I see as well. There's a quiz night and some, well, not quite so light, but speed networking, but they sound like quite a lot of fun.
Speed networking, often confused with speed dating. We don't actually do anything like that. We're a Chamber of Commerce. So no, it's really fun actually. Speed networking is very energetic, lots of fun, run by one of our directors, our Vice President, June Corey. So that's all good fun. We're doing that on Tuesday evening. Business quiz on a Thursday evening at St Albans School, which is an event where we're fundraising for a charity called Magpass, and that will be a very competitive room of lawyers, accountants and business people all thinking that they're top of the class. So we shall see the outcome of that event, which should be quite fun.
If it's anything like sort of any sort of quizzes I've been involved, it gets intensely competitive, doesn't it? So so you'll all be sort of trying for the upper hand in that one. So
maybe we should have a Radio Verulam team in there.
Well, that's a very good idea. Actually, I think you find that we might be very competitive as well. Actually, what I suppose one more bigger question, I suppose, is how will you know that the festival sort of served its purpose? What do you want to see from the festival? You know, in order to, presumably this isn't a one-off.
I think the measure of the success from our perspective will be the amount of people that attend the event and the amount of new faces that we see because of the new events that we've put on. We get regular people that come to our standard events anyway, but the more people that are new to us that we interact with during that week will be an indication of how far-reaching the promotions and the marketing have been. And yeah, we're really excited about it. So we're working with a lot of different groups and organisations during the week, which we don't always have the opportunity to do. So it's given us, an opportunity to work with many more people. So
I think also, what I do through my magazine is we speak to lots of people around the whole county. So I want people around the county to be talking about all the business activity that's going on in St Albans, and hopefully we'll really raise our profile as a town of doing great business and having great businesses. So for me, it's hearing what people say after the event and the buzz it creates.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, and for people who want to find out a bit more about the festival, could you? Have you got a website people can go to? Is there a sort of a hashtag? What sort of info can you give us?
Well, the hashtag is St Albans BizFest, so St Albans BIZ Fest, and on the Chamber of Commerce, St Albans District Chamber of Commerce website, there is a whole page designated just to the business festival with the whole programme of events and a link to book any of them online. So there's lots to get involved in, and we're really excited about that. So all people can just give us a ring at the Chamber office and we'll share as much information with them as they need.
Then the Expo on the Monday had its own separate website, which is heartsexpo.co.uk, and the same Twitter tag. Also, Trevor, can I just mention the careers fair that we have as well, because that's an interesting event. That's aimed at young people that want to get into professional services, and that's on the Wednesday evening at Barclays Bank from 5:30. And one of the highlights there is we've got the Premiership Trophy coming along, so there's Barclays' involvement with that. So an opportunity to come and have your photo taken with the Premiership Trophy and find out about careers in professional services.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be a great business festival, guys. I mean, you guys are going to be sort of run off your feet in the next few weeks, I'd imagine.
Yes, not sure how we're going to do it, but we're going to be certainly out and about a lot, that's for sure. But we're really excited about it because we're looking forward to meeting lots of new people and sharing expertise and connecting people, because that's what we're here for.
And that was Lisa Bates of St Albans Chamber of Commerce, local business publisher Simon George. So if you want to find out more about that, book yourself onto the event, go to the Chamber website, stalbans-chamber.co.uk, then click on the event tab at the top. The page you land on will have the business festival at the top of the page, and it sounds as though there's lots and lots of stuff going on. It's really, really interesting, and I've got a great initiative. We hear so many things that St Albans doing for small businesses. It's really sort of getting its act together.
Oh, it's a really active business community. I mean, the Chamber are incredibly supportive here, and there's a huge business community. We run one of our Mums Unlimited groups here in St Albans, and it's very vibrant. And seeing this whole list of events, I thought, what a fantastic idea. And I'm sure it's going to get copied in other areas, because I'm sure it's going to be a great success.
And it's interesting because Simon used to run the Expo that sort of was, I don't know, it must be in its 8th year now, I think. Yeah. And it used to be quite remote, didn't it? You used to have to sort of go to Watford to it. And
yeah, I mean, he's run them in Watford, Nebworth, various venues. I mean, we've supported it in the past, and we've got a stand there on the 22nd. Fantastic way of getting more publicity for your business.
And tell us a little bit about the expo. I've not actually been to the expo, so what so obviously it's got seminars, it's got various things going on. I mean, what's your approach? What do you have, a stand or?
Yeah, we'll have a stand with a pop-up banner. We normally do a prize draw to collect people's information. I normally have 2 or 3 people on the stand with me, so I can, I've got lots of opportunity to talk to lots of people. We normally might have a giveaway of some pads and pens and bits and pieces like that, chocolates and cakes. One year, actually, we did a hook a duck competition, which might sound a bit ridiculous, but you know what? Everybody loved it, and we took loads of photos and we put them onto social media. So I will always come away with lots and lots and lots of contacts from these events, and I always follow up afterwards. So for me, it's always been very successful.
You can't beat a good hook a duck competition.
Everybody laughed when we decided to do it, but actually people won prizes, and it was great. It was really great.
But also, I mean, it strikes me that it's just the fact that you've got it's a critical mass of events as well, that people who are in town for one will go to another. I mean, we were just talking off air about the fact that because you got your own programme there, Debbie, of things you're going to go to, and you thought, well, actually, while I'm there, I'll do this and this like that. So it's a critical mass concentration, I suppose, is another benefit, I suppose.
I think too, something you were saying earlier, which is if, a business person decides, I'm going to take the morning off to do a course, well, you generally find if you do that, it ends up, you don't immediately go back to work anyway, do you? No. So the fact that you can then have the day and just say, right, well, I'm here, as Trevor just said, I'm here anyway, I'm in the middle of St Albans, I may as well go to the Retailer of the Year Awards, which are on in the evening, or be around St Albans Arena or whatever. I think it is a very, very good idea just to have them all sort of concentrated together like that.
I think it will focus people's minds in St Albans for business for that particular week, because St Albans does the film festival, and I think you have a lot of other Fashion Week, for example, lots of other themed activities, and I think what St Albans does well is that they come together, and I think bringing businesses together for a whole week of events, because looking down the list, you've got speed networking going on the Tuesday evening at the college, and you've got a breakfast with the Chamber and the IOD on the Wednesday. So I'd be interested to know if anyone manages to get to all of those events and who that person is.
Maybe they'll get a prize.
And is there a prize?
Maybe they'll get a prize.
I think we should recommend to Lisa that there should be a prize for someone who sort of globe-trots around.
That's right, who manages to get to everything.
We should just mention, actually, I mean, we never miss an opportunity for a plug, but the Retailer of the Year, we're hoping to be doing our live outside broadcast from there on Monday the 22nd, which is in the evening. A great event, always glittering and so on. So that's our own little plug. So tune in to Radio Verulam to hear some live coverage of the event itself.
Well, the festival obviously runs for a week. However, it is possible to fit in an event before the working day begins, and funnily enough, we have a clip just about that. So earlier we mentioned the Hertfordshire University Business School. The business school runs a wide range of different events and courses, including one taking place on Friday the 3rd of July between 7:45 a.m. and 09:15. And I asked Dr. Christopher Brown, who's a principal lecturer in marketing and enterprise at the business school, who the course was designed for.
Our course on the 3rd of July, called Grow Your Business with Market Research, is very much aimed at the small business who is looking to find out more, really, about both their customers and also about how their customers view their products.
Is it your thought that small businesses don't do enough marketing, or perhaps don't know quite how to market?
Well, it's interesting. Actually, last year we had an opportunity to do some market research of our own, looking at the small businesses within Hertfordshire, and what was noticed on there, a very simple question to what you believe your strengths and weaknesses are. On the strengths side, the small businesses were very, very complimentary about their own kind of operational improvements, effective business planning. But in the weaknesses, 3 of the top 5 were all around things like weaknesses around entering new markets, in developing new products, and also in utilising customer information. So I think that told us quite a lot about where businesses felt as though they could actually improve their skills and improve their competences.
So what type of things will you be covering in the course?
The person actually running the workshop is Dr. David Smith, who's actually a visiting professor at the university. He's run his own market research company for the last 25 years, and has definitely had experience of undertaking market research projects for a large number of companies, both in terms of start-up businesses and businesses who have been in operation for 5 to 10 years, who are looking to kind of re-look at how they can re-engage or open up new markets. So the course is very much open to all small business leaders, and it's very much, the content is about, experiences of other businesses and how they found market research to be of value in terms of both reinforcing and perhaps giving them an opportunity to re-look at what their product offering is, or an opportunity to look at a new market where their products may actually be quite well fitted to the customer requirements.
And of course, the other thing about doing an event, coming along to an event like that, is there are other small businesses also doing it. So quite often, generally, there's a bit of time for networking between the small businesses, and actually there's quite a lot of hints and tips that perhaps one business has tried and found has worked. So that's another useful thing about attending these events. I mean, do you put much play in the networking aspect of these events?
We've learned from our previous workshops where if it's a one-way communication, then it doesn't deliver the same sort of value. So yes, Claire, I think the thing we most highly value is the opportunity of the networking. So both at the beginning and at the end, there's lots of opportunity for small businesses, the small business leaders, to sort of come together, network, find out what sort of areas they share, and opportunities like that. But also within the actual workshop, David is a very engaging presenter, so it's not a one-way traffic. We definitely are looking for engagement and get people's views about ways in which perhaps they've experimented and used outside agencies to do market research, but perhaps it didn't quite deliver what they were expecting. So this shared experience is a key part of the workshop.
I noticed too, the event is on at a good time. It's on in the morning. It's on at 7:45 to 9:15, which means that having attended it, we still get a full day. We can, still get a full day to do work if we've got work on that day. So that's another good thing in its favour. And also noticed it costs £10. Is that the norm? That's a very low price of admission. Do you deliberately try and keep that low?
We do. We obviously are very keen for people to come along. We're very keen for putting on these events, and we recognise that, especially when there's a breakfast included, it's important to have it priced at the right level. To be there really as just a way to say, well, come along, engage with it. At the same time as you're sitting there and going through your breakfast, you have an opportunity to hear some new, insightful experiences of other people, and also from David Smith himself and his years of experience of running market research and looking at the value of that market research, to hear what he says about in terms of what some of the key deliverables are and some of the key aspects in terms of how it can help your business grow.
And Christopher, you're part of the Hertfordshire Business School. Could you maybe tell us a little bit about that if people haven't heard of it, and the other sorts of courses and the types of things that you run from the university?
So the Hertfordshire Business School is the business school part of the University of Hertfordshire. We're very much aware of the need to reach out to our local business community and find ways where we can support activities. So our Business Academy, which is our umbrella that this one particular workshop falls under, runs regularly monthly breakfast briefings, again covering all sorts of topics. So everything from sort of digital marketing to looking at, have you considered e-commerce, to things like people management, staff motivation. So all of those kind of tricky things that, small businesses and challenges they have. At the same time, we obviously run learning and leadership type programs. And these programs can be everything from fairly professionally based accredited programs that are accredited by some of the professional institutions like Chartered Institute of Marketing, the CIPD, which is the Chartered Institute of Professional Development. So those type of courses, all the way to sort of running these types of workshops that are very focused around particular support activities where we can engage with small businesses and perhaps help them develop their skills and competencies. Some of that is obviously on an individual basis. Some of that will actually work with companies and take groups of their personnel, workforce out and do one-day workshops. So we have a raft of offerings, and the best way to see what's available is literally to go on to our university website, which is www.hearts.ac.uk.
And that was Dr. Christopher Brown telling us about the course Grow Your Business with Market Research. And I'm going to tell you again how to book your course, because again it's a university website. So if you go onto the website, which is hearts, HERTS.ac.uk, at the top you'll see business services. Click on that and then click on attend an event, and the event will be there in the listings, and you can just click on that, follow it through to book your place. Now, I mean, Debbie, this Hertfordshire Business School, I mean, just some of these events, even the two that we were talking about tonight, I mean, they're absolutely fantastic events. They've got great speakers at them. They're next to nothing. I mean, even this breakfast one,
token, isn't it?
The breakfast one's £10, which is probably you'd pay for your breakfast anyway if you went out for it. Now, do you think a lot of businesses are aware that the university is holding all these good business courses?
Well, if you think I've run a business in the area for 16 years, before I've got another company that I've been running for 16 years, I didn't know anything about this. So when you sent all this through to me the other day, I was like, wow. I've got a network of about 7,000 or 8,000 people, and I would love to push this out to them, because I think it's amazing. There's some brilliant stuff out there.
Are you listening, University of Hertfordshire? They've got a willing...
it's
absolutely true. Yeah. And when you go on this events page...
I'm going to be.
No, absolutely. They have it in order, what they've got on, and there's a vast array of stuff. Also, fantastic. I think it's good for them to get business people in, Hertfordshire business people in. Now, let's talk a little bit about the fact the course is quite short. So the course is obviously just an hour and a half long, the marketing course. Would you think that would be effective, just an hour and a half?
Well, I've looked at what they're covering. Strategic excellence, so focusing on areas where you have competitive advantage, focusing on the key drivers to achieving this strategic positioning, and taking fast, productive and streamlined action to achieve your goals. I think an hour and a half, you can definitely get that covered.
Yeah,
it's a bite size.
It depends, doesn't it? Really, if the people understand what you're talking about in the first place, then you can get that stuff covered. So one would hope that they almost sort of check out that everybody is at the same sort of level before it cracks on. Because otherwise, you start talking about strategies, and some people don't really understand the first thing about it. But my guess is that as a business person, you wouldn't be going on a market research course unless you understood some of the complexities of running a business. And
definitely. And I
think too that's one of those areas that you as a business you maybe never quite get round to. You don't quite ever do market research.
It's astonishing the number of businesses. I'm sure you've experienced this, Vicky, that you talk to about market research and they say, "Oh, I asked my neighbour and my mum." Or my husband thought it was a great idea. And actually, market research is vital to any business or product or service that you're going to offer. Hence, with Mums Unlimited, I did do my research before I did my first event and found there was a need. So otherwise you're literally wasting your time if there's not a need for your product or service.
Exactly, and there's lots of ways of sort of sucking out and seeing before you actually go the full pelt. Yeah. So many people seem to sort of dive in, buy all the kit, buy the office, do the stuff. and then find that I haven't got it quite right.
They focus more on the desks and the stationery than they actually do on the product or service that they're offering.
Yeah.
And these sort of courses are ideal for going away with some ideas that you can start implementation. And for some people, it may inspire them to get an expert in and do it for them.
and it's a little taster, pardon the pun. I know it's a breakfast meeting, but it means that by 9:15 in the morning you're done, and you've got a fresh idea. You've met a few people. You've probably done a bit of networking as well. So it's absolutely ideal. Okay. So we're going to take a little break now, and we'll be back after the break. And we'll probably just round up and talk about some of the things that we've discovered tonight.
The Business, sponsored by Kingston Smith Chartered Accountants.
Join me, Denise Parsons, for the Parsons Knows Local Music, a show dedicated to original music right here in the West Herts area, with music news, reviews and gig information. Thursday evenings, 7 p.m. on 92.6 FM, Radio Verulam.
Radio Verulam Community Partners. St Albans Symphony Orchestra has been giving concerts for over 75 years, delivering top-quality live music in an affordable and an accessible way. They play the greatest classical works as well as popular light music with all the excitement of a full-scale symphony orchestra. They also subsidise every child's ticket. It costs only £1 for a child to attend any of the concerts. To learn more, visit their website saso.org.uk. For more on Radio Verulam Community Partners, go to radioverulam.com/community partners.
If you want to get in touch with the business on Radio Verulam, phone us on 01727 839 926 or email thebusiness@radioverulam.com.
Welcome back to The Business. I'm Clare McAnulty, and I'm here tonight with Trevor Merriden and Vicky Scott, and our guest in the studio is Debbie Gilbert. We're discussing events tonight and networking. Now, just before the break there, Debbie, we were all laughing almost about the fact that we don't know about the events, all these events taking place up at the university. Are there maybe some other places that, in case people are not aware of, maybe some other groups or organisations that hold events?
Locally, Stanta, based here in St Albans, they do a wide range of training. I deliver the Networking Skills Masterclass, and they also run training in WordPress, LinkedIn, various other training in business planning, marketing. Wenter also run training across Hertfordshire, so worth checking out their website. And the Merriden Business Centre also runs some training as well, so that's based in Hemel Hempstead. So
it is incredible, really, within the county. Yep. You can't complain, and it's all very low cost.
Yeah, and low cost and accessible to all, at all levels.
Absolutely, and people shouldn't be frightened of coming along, because they're very, very friendly people, aren't they? Everybody's there to help. Yeah. It really is, just a whole community of people who've all been, at different stages, been through it. Everybody's had ups, everybody has downs, and it's a really, really nice way of getting to know a community as well. Particularly when you first come out of sort of corporate life. I know I didn't know a soul. And then I started networking, and then suddenly, you sort of feel as though you know everybody, which is great. But everybody really is very, very supportive.
No, they are incredibly supportive.
A lot of difference.
Definitely, without a doubt.
And why don't you tell us, if you've got some courses coming up, Debbie, or what's on your agenda in the next sort of couple of weeks?
Well, my big thing at the moment is I've just launched the Best Business Women Awards, so I'm really excited about it. We've got 17 categories. The website's launched, bestbusinesswomenawards.com. The final is right here in St Albans at Batchwood in October. Okay. All the information on the website, so I'm not going to.
We're going to have to go and have a look at that.
Go and have a look.
Go on, sorry, Trevor, you're not included.
Okay.
Just give us the website address, Debbie.
It's bestbusinesswomenawards.com.
Bestbusinesswomenawards.com. Yes. That sounds fantastic.
And is it fair to have a best business women?
I think that women really struggle with putting themselves out there and actually confidence of wanting to shout about what they've achieved. And I know the benefits I've had in the 3 business awards that I've won over the last 3 or 4 years, and I can honestly say that I really, I'm so passionate about this, because I want people who are making a real difference in their business community to come forward. It might not be their businesses multi-million-pound businesses. I'm not that's not my target market for these awards. It's about women making a living for themselves, but also making a difference in their communities.
Can I say as
We don't know.
as a non-woman that I think it is very fair to hold those things. I mean, because we've had a long tradition of women not being treated sort of fairly in certain situations. I suppose the triumph is when there is no need for for this sort of thing. One day when it will seem strange that there is something devoted because everything is so equitable. But what very quickly, we've only got a sort of a minute or so left. What have we all learnt tonight, Claire?
Well, I mean, the first thing I would say is the University of Hertfordshire. What fantastic, but what fantastic courses they have, and get on their website. It's hearts.ac.uk, and just have a look at the events, and I think people will be quite astonished at the calibre of the courses and the different lengths of the courses, and that's the thing I think that I have been really most surprised by.
And I think I'm never amazed, never cease to be amazed. Sorry, I'm never amazed. Never cease to be amazed by just how much is going on on our doorstep. There are so many different events, there are so many people that are really pushing forward business and business to business in the local community in all sorts of shapes and ways and all sorts of levels. And I think we should feel very, very proud and very lucky to be part of that. And it's really great, to be running the business show and hopefully making sure that more and more people know about more of the stuff that's going on. So I feel sort of quite chuffed that we can tell people about this sort of stuff.
Right, for me it's also the variety of things around events and networking have clearly moved on a long way on from the old sort of fashion events you were describing, Vicky, where it was all kind of hurrah and business leads and things like that, and first thing in the morning, and there's a lot more variety around. Now, we want to wish success to all the events featured in tonight's show. So thanks to Dr. Peter Fraser and Dr. Christopher Brown of Hertfordshire University. It's great we're getting your sort of message out there, and we would like to hear more from you and anybody else who's got events. And from the St Albans Festival, massive good luck to that. And thanks to Lisa Bates and Simon George for giving their time. We're really excited about that. And in particular, we wanted to thank our studio guest tonight, Debbie Gilbert. Thanks, Debbie.
Thank you.
And finally, thanks to Claire and Vicky and Laura Blackmore, who's doing a fantastic job on Twitter this evening with us here in the studio. And until next time, have a great week.
The Business, sponsored by Kingston Smith Chartered Accountants. If there's anything in the show you want to talk to us about, phone us on 01727 839 926 or email thebusiness@radioverulam.com.